question comes in, we start with this one, then we have a little bit of a buffer, so we don't sit there and then have to wait for like the next question. Good question anyway. Since there's a whale, there happens to be a whale, there's often that. What are the odds?
Just firing it up here, just firing up the Facebook Live and giving it a moment to stabilize, checking our signals here. And signals are really good. The global Wi-Fi that we carry is operating 100%. Excellent. I'm so grateful. Signals are really good. Get a few minutes here before we let this stabilize and feel the atmosphere around us. Feel the energies and the vibrations. See that we are populating the Facebook Live now, so I want to welcome Huna and Huna Mauta Kumara, and welcome Ruby, welcome Corey. It's great to have you here. Liz and Julie, thank you so much. Everyone is reporting getting goosebumps, reporting chicken skin. The energy of the Mudia is certainly arriving, certainly landing here, receiving Atlantis back into Lemuria, rewriting and reorganizing and reversing pain and the sorrow. We had a few minutes here as people start to populate now. And begin to enjoy these questions and to enjoy the presence of you all. Certainly. Very welcome to this view we have here. Very fortunate to share this view with you. Amazing moment. It's been an amazing day, an amazing time here. And so let me officially welcome you to Ask Huna Flash. Welcome, dear ones. Welcome, Huna. And welcome all those who are harmonized into the vibrations, energy, frequencies, and the magnetics. If you've been following along, thank you so much. It's been a number of days, let me guess, 33 days since the last segment we had. As promised, we are live from Giza Plateau. We are live on Pyramid time. this hour, 4:44. And so, welcome. And we look forward to more who will be coming in here, entering in here. So, just while we're waiting to populate, I just would like to share a little bit about the tour, about the journey here and our ceremonies. So grateful to be able to do this service, this level of service, this level of mission, this level of joy. And so as we began, we entered Luxor, and happy to report that we were well received at the Huna house in Luxor. We're so grateful for such a beautiful home that we have in Luxor in Egypt, that we can enter here with ease and grace. The home is incredible. You may have seen some of the photos. Incredible sacred geometries. We're so grateful to Zaid, the builder and the owner of the home, who has graciously signed a contract with us for long term. We look forward to sharing our Huna house, our home, with those who may have interest to gather there in spiritual groups, in your healing groups, or just come to visit. Let us know. We can settle that up. And so just on the subject of our efforts here, beginning with the Lion Queen. As we entered the chambers of the Lion Queen, we began at the Valley of the Queens in the tomb of Nefertari. What we had done there is to bring the relics from different parts of the world, and different parts of the world in the stone, in the water, and what we refer to as relics, and to converge them and bring those stone and those relics in the form of a blend that we crushed into a fine blend to distribute, of course, program and give the blessings within it, to recognize all who are in the stone, and then share and gift that those energy vibration frequencies and to the chamber and to the tomb of Nefertari, to accept her energies, recognize her as the Lion Queen, in a moment of uploading and a moment of downloading. And so these transmissions were both two-way. And as we had gathered these understandings and convergence, we were able to take the next steps to the giant kings. And so we went to the Valley of the Kings. The Valley of the Kings, and in a similar ceremony, a similar sequence of events and protocols, we gathered at the tomb of Seti. And as you can imagine, both of these, Valley of the Queens and Valley of the Kings, is very powerful. But I will say that because we were bringing in the codes in the form, not just the codes in the formless of the upload and the download into the human, the relics represent the form on the ground and in the human. So very intense on the human form, or human structure. Let me just say, at least by 10 times. Incredible to be with the team of Hunas that we have, that have aligned into the seal of the living light child, so we can operate this way. Certainly it's not easy. It has its challenges, multiple dimensions. As we are aligned to our higher self, we are able to also connect in a way, not just our higher self in its energy and its power, to expand the human and expand our form, as we are upgrading into the 24-strand DNA and double density of the human being. the double density base formation, or what we sometimes refer to as a universal nine, universal foundation for creating the crystal being in the form. Yeah, and so the convergence in the Valley of the Queens and the Valley of the Kings was well received and accepted, and so certainly we visited, as you may have seen some of the photos. We visited Hatshepsut, sacred other sacred sites, and we were able to visit Dendara and Temple of Isis. We were happy to descend into the underground spring at Dendara to gift the waters from around the world and the tears of the dragons, and also to input the waters from Atlantis One, from their birthing lagoon, healing lagoon, from the island of the goddess. So we were able to gift that, and certainly we were gifted more to see, more to feel, as we entered the Isis chamber at Dendara. And so I'd like to just to add that the understanding of the Lion Queen's Gate and the Giant Kings has been received into the month of January, which is the 8th month of the Lemurian light calendar. We are returning convergence and converging Egypt into Atlantis back into Lemuria. We are reversing the sorrow and the pain to release and allow expansion and capacity. Converging, recognizing, not disconnecting, recognizing and rebuilding and reconstruction, rebirth, resurrection in the now. And so as we understood this time as January to be the Lion Queen's Gate and the Giant King's Gate, this has been spoken of and shared now on Facebook, or the Book of Face, and also on the Instagram, like the grams of instant, and everything is becoming very instant, automatically. It's automatic. It's almost running on automatic, and we are seeing and feeling the texts and the messages from everybody around the world that are confirming this. And so, one final thing before we move to the questions, so I'd like to share that it is confirmed now that the through this action of the Lion Queen's Gate, that the new ceremonies on the ground have come to the ground now, and so on February 1st, which is referred to Unarasa, is the gathering. So the first Unarasa of February is to prepare and gather in the circle. For why? Well, because on the next day, the next light, which is Unarata, the first Unarata, is the ceremony for the Lion Queens in dedication, and an upgrade from Mother's Day into Lion Queens, the Lion Queen ceremony. And then finally, the third day, which is Unrarehu, which is the ceremony for the Giant Kings, and it is engaged and empowered by the energy of the dolphin and the light of the dolphin, Unrarehu. In the light of that day, which used to be Monday, to us, it's no longer a Monday for us. It is a dolphin day, and we speak to this as Unrarehu. And so, thank you for this, being patient for me to share this with you, and then so we'll take a look at these questions. Now, I've got my friend here, Huna Manima, who was to show me and help me with the questions here as we move along. I'd like to greet Huna Kamanuto, Robin Hayward, who has a question, and her question. The first question is, what are the whales and dolphin medicines saying about the shift and anchoring of first light and the queens and kings in Egypt? She is feeling lightness and playful in this way, and that's coming in, and she's so grateful. So yes, so What are the whales and the dolphins saying about the medicine and the light? Let me just say that I'm sitting with one right now. And here he is to introduce you to Huna Mauta, who is from the stargates in the star system of the dolphins, which is Lehu. You will find that on the calendar and on the Hunascope. Now, let me just say that Huna Mauta was just in that pyramid over there in the chamber of Khufu. He and other Huna, and they were doing the transmissions, upload and downloads, and the toning. And let me just say that we've come up with this joke. This joke, it goes like this. It goes, how many Huna does it take to clear out a pyramid, to clear out the chamber? How many Huna does it take to clear out the great chamber of the Great Pyramid? Okay? 4. 4 Huna cleared out the entire chamber from being almost full. When they entered into that chamber, the Huna Mauta, the dolphin, Huna Pa, the North Star, Huna Mauta, and Huna Makauta, who are known as the Enter and Return, Waho Wahi, the High Priestess and the High Priest. As soon as they entered into that chamber, the guards and the visitors exited that chamber. And it was bare for roughly 44 minutes. So it took 4 Huna to enter that chamber and clear it out. And so what are the whales and dolphin medicines saying about the shift? So much joy, so much light, so much medicine in the light, which you can access on the Unurarehu. That used to be a Monday. Now it's a dolphin day. And now that is anchored. So you have access to this. Yeah? Okay, so I hope that answers the question. And it was a good joke too. I thought 4 Huna to clear out a chamber. That's not bad. Do we have another question? Waiting for another question. Someone's getting goosebumps so far. If you have a question or a message, please put it in the comment. Make a comment so we can see. While we're waiting for the next question, we are preparing tomorrow to leave to Alexandria for the next stage of our missions and our journeys as a council. And the reason for Alexandria is to recognize the first century of the codes of Islam and to recognize the benevolence in the first century that held the benevolence and the power of love within it in the first century. We're going to recognize that and we have much knowledge on this to share on this understanding. We will collect those codes, and we will also align to the Lion Queen with Cleopatra. We are hoping to. We do have a trajectory and a knowing of where she may be in terms of her tomb. So we're looking forward to sharing all that with you. And so we have the next question from Huna Hazara Kumara, recently received the seal of the Living Light Child, and her question is, how can we get involved if we're not yet Huna? Becoming Huna is aligning to an essence. Huna reveals the story of a person's light, a being's light. Let me just say beyond the Akashic. There's a pathway and a trajectory through this understanding. So you already have that connection and in you, and I'm sure you've been doing so much in this lifetime, in many lifetimes, as we know this. So you are already involved in terms of on a global scale, certainly, and certainly in the dimensions of multiple dimensions. The Huna itself, becoming a Huna, is to align, and the alignment is engaged and initiated to the seal of the living light. It's an alignment, not an attachment. It's not really a matter of I'm going to opt in and opt out. You can do whatever you want. Once the seal is engaged, it is let's just say done. And at the same time, you can enjoy the doing that you wish to. And so, how can you get involved? And then you can also give us a call and get and receive the seal of the living light child. One of the fun modalities of getting involved, if you're not a Huna, it's like the harmonizing to each other. And the way we do that is a ceremony called, is lovingly known as the one drop. One drop. You know, there's a song by Bob Marley, right? Living in the one drop. Right? Maybe he knew something about this, but the ceremony of the one drop is between two people, or three people, or a trinity, fingers in the glass of water, connected in a circle. The connection becomes through the water and through the stone and through the water. And this becomes harmonized. You become known to each other. And let us hope that you want to be known. Yeah, you want to be. Things want to be known now. Be out there. Not necessarily what's in your drawers and your cupboards. Let me say. More reporting goosebumps. Heart is expanding. Yes. Now the question. Where is that? Where's the question? Sarah? Was Sarah's question? I can't tell. Yeah. Sorry about this. Pam. Pam, you missed the opening of the share. Question. ISIS is really coming through. Was this part of the Queen's transmissions? And Pam is speaking to ISIS is really coming through. Let me share that. ISIS and many of the goddesses, they are coming through, right? However, the understanding is that they have formed a continuum of goddesses. So there's an understanding of the turquoise goddess continuum, those who are of the turquoise. Then there are those of the gold, the gold goddess continuum. You will recognize these them, and they speak individually also, but they have been coming through as one goddess. Yeah, and so yes, Isis has been very active. I'll let you to share with you also on the island of the goddess, Ishel in Cozumel at Atlantis One. Ishel is also Isis, and so there are many goddesses that you may not know their names, like Hinenui Tepo, very powerful goddesses that you've not heard. They are also to be recognized and felt, and you are actually feeling them through Isis, except they have their sovereignty just as you do, and as well as the Huna being all in one in the all. This is the continuum. Next question.
Any important information that any of the Huna received during the ceremonies there that might be important to share with all of us?
Is there any information that the Hunas received that is important to share with all of us? Yes, there's so many messages, and to just one really doesn't come to mind, but there are so many critical messages, and I feel that the one is one important message is to release, to let go, and certainly let go of yourself. Yeah, loosen the grip on yourself. Expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected, and be open to receive. And so sometimes it's uncomfortable, The challenge is to go beyond that uncomfortable stage and become comfortable, and that can only be done by showing up and allowing it to move through you. You don't have to lay down all the time and take this. You can go out. You can go out and be of service directly to it. And so this is what the Huna here are sharing, and what they're experiencing is that they're showing up in of powerful service in the places that are uncomfortable, and they're expanding themselves. And now they are just, well, I'm interested to see when we finish this tour. But as I've had many tours, as you know, and the Hunas have come through with flying colors. And so I expect that you could too. Yeah.
Kimberly. Huna,
Kimberly.
Can you explain a little more about the Motu trinities, how they affect us?
Kimberly has asked about the Motu trinities on the calendar, the Lemurian calendar. Yes, the Motus. Let's first off, the Motu grid is the overlay over the human grid. It's the birth signs coming down on the inside. What was once outside is now inside. It's also being overlaid over the planet. So there's an alignment to the planet and to yourself. Now, this has brought the birth signs inside to be sacred guardianship and shielded from the magnetic field of where they once were in the Gregorian, where they were susceptible to interference and so much more, as you know, and loop time. And so the Motus become very personal and very, very powerfully connected. They can assist you directly. They bring the light inside from the inside. It's not necessarily saying, okay, it's internal. They are internally inside you, just to understand them as sovereign beings, the source light, your light, of course. In these deeper details, it gives that comfort, certain comfort in the knowing that you have more support to rely on. When someone speaks of words of God, that's sometimes way out of your reach. But when you speak of the Motu, who are godlike beings, are inside you and supporting you, they are within you and they are right there. So to recognize your Motu of the month of your birth in alignment geometrically to the Trinity, the Trinity Motus that are in a geometric alignment to you, which is, you can see it quite clearly, triangle on the Huna scope, on the calendar. And typically those who are aligned in the Trinity either are already in a relationship with you, know you, or coming to find you. You can check those Motu and the month and perhaps begin this way to search for these people who are in alignment with you. Maybe they'll just show up. How do they affect you? This is a benevolent understanding. The birth signs are benevolent. The Motu are benevolent, as you can see. The dove, the rabbit, the turtle. They've never been associated with war and with bloodshed and with harm. They are associated with the benevolent light of source. And so, as you connect to the Trinity, and I would offer you to eagerly seek this out, yeah, to really search this out and go through the totems that you can actually, you can Google that. Any Native American stories will tell you about the totems, and then you can fine tune that yourself by connecting into those who are of those totems. So it's like it's open to you. It's being revealed to you, and it's not being hidden, and certainly not being manipulated. You will feel that distortion anyway. So we are talking about undistorted light here, and so I would offer you and challenge you to actively seek this. Now we have this leads me into the conference that we're having in March. We're having the conference to bring forward the next edition of the calendar. Very exciting, very powerful in its simplicity. And so I hope to be able to see you there or connect you there, and you can see that on the website. The event is on the event page on the website in March in Japan, Mount Fuji. Just an extra note on that, there's a ceremony to activate a powerful door. One of the doors of the motu. And the doors in the mountains are being activated. They're connected directly to the motu. This is how the planetary overlay and the human overlay are coming together. Only these doors and these portals are connecting between yourself and the planet, and directly speaking to the land, water, sky. Okay, so there's so much to share from the event in March. So I hope that answered the question. I kind of went all over the place. I do anyway. Right? I go everywhere.
From Pam, can you explain on an energetic level what you experience when the codes are locked in?
Pam is asking, what's the experience when the codes are locked in? Stillness, a powerful peace, all in one and the one in all. This is Huna. So you're not sitting alone. You're always sitting. You're with everything and everyone and everything and everywhere, and you'll see this by certain individuals that will be sitting, who attempt to sit with you in a circle, and they may feel triggered by you. Maybe that's happening to you already. Certainly, as your challenge is to come to the stillness on this, it's like having a gazillion, thousand, billion tears. Knowing them and knowing where they came from and how they got there, and you had released them all, but you know the story, and it's sitting in here, and you don't have to cry anymore. And that power holds the power of love, because you're the experience from it. Yeah. Let me share these 4 words: ho ni, the gifting of life from the tears. Ho ni, ta ni, the tears of the dragon, for sorrow or for joy. Ha ni, the tears of celebrating life lived or past. And Ra ni, it's all heaven on earth. Ho ni, ta ni, ha ni, Ra ni. And these 4 aspects are the very powerful center of your energy and your strength, and certainly the experience and the love from the tears, the sorrow, and the pain that you can hold in stillness and be proud that you came through this. Yeah, be honored, and we honor you that way. And so, when somebody sits with you, you may also feel that they get triggered, and they're not feeling very good. They might accuse you of doing something to them. Oh, you did something to me. I was accused of that just a few nights ago. Apparently, I did something by sitting next to somebody. And just remind everyone that I don't sit alone. And I might say to you, hey, yeah, sit over here. Come sit. Sit, enjoy. We're in a circle. Just. And the challenge is to sit next to each other, yeah? Always has been.
Is there a motu portal in Peru?
Is there a motu portal in Peru? You bet you there is. Lake Titicaca, known as the Angel's Door, but the entire of South America is Tiran, the hummingbird, the bird, the tiny bird who is at the calling of the gates. As most of you know, that the colibri is a heavenly being, an embodiment of heaven on earth. Well, certainly, the action is of the hummingbird is actually of authority, a powerful authority, permission granted. Although we all said yes, and we must recognize still, as an understanding of maintenance and maintaining recognition of one another, that the hummingbird can be called upon to enter the forest. So the entire South America is Tirani, which refers to the calling of the gates, and the little bird with the seven notes, 7 tones in its flute. And so there's the Angel's Door in Lake Titicaca in Peru, which is the motu, another motu door for the motu overlay grid of the human and the planet, continental being. Yes, so hey, we're working on activation of that door. It's waiting to be activated, so we're getting to it. And maybe you'll come with us. Maybe we'll all go. Yeah, I'll invite you to that. And so, is there another question? There's some comments. Question is like, if there is much distortion, but it's not really questions, a comment from Kori, and she's in Peru. There's much distortion in the overlays here, lack of sovereignty, people closed out when active portals are activated, false shamanic disempowerment and direct source connections. And yes, we have, it's maintenance, yeah? Maintenance, we must maintain high level of vibration, so it requires modalities, like modalities. The modalities of Lemuria are here now, so we are working with modalities known as the Waikara, Powata, Wataka, and the Apakura, and powerful like modalities, and bringing those to bear on communities to start sharing and including. They start to speak each other's language. Huh? We need to be inclusive this way, even if in a small way, begin to share that the return to Lemuria is for everyone, because you know, we speak the same languages mostly, for the most part, and so we do have to get that journey down and that trip to Peru to begin working on it with the shamans and these distortions. Just like a vulture and the creatures would clean up the roadkill beings that would run over, or you know, bodies laid on the road and out in the forest. They get cleaned up by the insects. They get cleaned up by the vultures. And this is known as the blue order, the beings of the blue order of the utmost highest quality of hygiene and clean and purification. And this is how we do this vibration, energy, frequency, magnetically, and distortion in fields of distortion to clear those out, return them to undistorted light.
Asking, when will the activation of the door take place?
When I get a minute. I'm just teasing. We've been talking about it for a minute, and I was hoping to get to the activation of the Angel's Door on Tirani Motu sometime this year. I'll look for it at a moment when it's not too hot and not too muggy, too humid, and not too cold. When it's just right. Let's talk about that, yeah? Corey says maybe we need 5 Huna there. That's a big job, 55 minutes. Yeah. 11 minutes, 11 seconds in a login. Oh, I'd like to say hi to Toya there, the Huna there, Huna Toya. Long time no see, great to see you. Yeah, feel your energy. I'm going to wrap up now as I'm coughing too much. I need to get that out. But also, I want to thank you for this moment. And, I look forward to sharing more with you after we get over to Alexandria, working with the codes of the Quran from the first edition, and recognizing what had happened to them, what had happened to the first edition, and bringing you some information on Cleopatra and the Lion Queen. Okay. Thank you so much. It's a real blast coming to you from the Giza Plateau. And let me just welcome, as we leave here, welcome Huna Tahu Tani. Okay, put your head in there. I can't. There he is, this young man here. I look forward to meeting you and you all meeting him, and us all perhaps having a reunion, and maybe we'll see you all in March in Japan. Yeah, hopefully you'll get to meet him there, and all the other Hunas. So to welcome him as he was sealed here at the Giza Plateau this morning. Incredible, for first time, first one, and Also, welcome to Huna, the Hunas from New Zealand that just got sealed too as well. Huna Mari and Huna Haruri. Okay, look forward to more questions later on. We'll let you know when we have another segment of Ask Huna Flash. Yeah. Love you all. Bye-bye. And I'm out.